Guys, what's going on? It's Jack here. Now, I'm not going to have too much of an intro to this video. I thought it would be a good opportunity to go through and do another Q&A video, and I posted a question on all the social media, Instagram, on my Facebook, on YouTube as well. I know you guys really liked the last one, got some good feedback on it, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to do it again. And I've got some more videos planned for the future, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to get straight into these questions because we've got a few to get through and I want to answer them as in-depth as I can. I'm actually going to read them all off my phone here. I made sure I screenshot them, made sure I got myself prepared. So we're going to answer them as best as I can. The first one is from Kieran. He says, "Hey Jack, as a first-time dropshipper going into Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales, what should we be prepared for to safeguard from anything potentially going wrong?" So really, when it comes to dropshipping, the main things to note is you're just going to make sure you get yourself set up with a good supplier when it comes to dropshipping. Make sure that you have the ability to, your supplier has the ability to, like if you've got a sale going on, make sure that they can get the stock out. Make sure that there's no delays. The only really thing you can do, because you're not really going to know, you're not really going to know if there's something that's going to go wrong in those Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. You know, your website could go down. There could be lots of traffic. I mean, it's probably not going to happen if you're a dropshipper, but many things could happen if you've got a supplier for a product that has a product that's like high in demand. You might not be the only customer. The only thing you can do in that instance is just make sure everything's right on your end, make sure that your website runs properly, make sure that it's fast, make sure that your orders are going out okay, so make sure that when you fulfill them, that they're going out really quickly. Apart from that, just make sure you get yourself set up, like in terms of your advertising. Make sure that you have some promotions prepared, and that's pretty much it. That's all you can do. Make sure you get yourself set up in terms of competitive pricing, and then this is really a time, this Black Friday, Cyber Monday, make sure that you make a point of it. When you make an ad, make sure that you redo an ad or do a new advertisement. If you're doing Facebook ads, do a new advertisement to really pinpoint that Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Make sure that it pinpoints those sales. Make sure that you let everyone know in your advertisement that, okay, we've got these sales going on. It's it's the best sale year round. Whatever you want to do with it, make sure that you get yourself set up with those ads. Apart from that, make sure that all your orders are going out okay, and then just make sure that your website's running fine as well. Next one we got from Luxury Papa AU. Says, "Do you still recommend eGrow for product research in AU?" So when it comes to product research in the Aussie market, this is in regards to Amazon. Really, still right now, it's unfortunate, but still right now, the only two softwares that I see, well, there's three actually now that I see that can help with product research. One of them is eGrow, which actually helps you find products. Number two is AlgoPix, which really just helps you determine the demand of products. And number three, you've got Merchant Words as well. So Merchant Words is just really for keyword research, but I would still recommend eGrow at this point. I'd probably try AlgoPix as well, just to help narrow down, because the whole thing with eGrow is that it doesn't really show accurate numbers, but it can still help you find products. Again, I just use the 5-to-1 ratio for eGrow for the Aussie market. So just to explain to you really what myself and my students do in Ecom Excellence, whenever you find a product on eGrow, whatever revenue you see, whatever sales data you see for that month, because it goes month by month, whatever you see for it, just divide it by 5. That gives you a more accurate number. We found that that's what works best for eGrow in terms of the Aussie market. If you're using eGrow for the US or any other region for that matter, it seems to be more accurate. It's just the AU. It's probably because it's so new, but yeah, use the 5-to-1 ratio for eGrow. I would still recommend it, but just keep note of that. Next one is from Omar BRL. Hopefully I said that right. He said, "What tools do you use for Amazon product research?" So pretty similar to the last question, but it's those three that I mentioned as well. Now, if I was going for Amazon US, I would go towards, say, Jungle Scout. I would go Helium 10. They're great pieces of software for product research. But if you're talking about Amazon Australia, again, the ones that I said, eGrow, AlgoPix, and Merchant Words. Merchant Words, again, is just for your keyword research. So it's basically, it really helps because it's more accurate for keyword research for the Aussie marketplace. It's more accurate than eGrow in that regard. So if you're looking at what people are searching for on Google, like what the high velocity sort of search volume is for certain keywords on Google is, use Merchant Words. Great tool, works well for the AU market as well. But they're the three that I use. Again, if you were to sell in the US, I'd steer away from it. It seems like Jungle Scout, Helium 10, and I think AMZ Scout as well. They seem to be a lot more sort of fluent and work a little bit better than eGrow. But for Aussie market, they're the three that I'd use. Next question is from a good friend of mine, Georgia. She says, hardest part of Ecom to you? Now, I guess in terms of Ecom, it's not so much the business side of things that are hard, because, you know, I could say stuff like making sure you're adapting to, you know, what happens next in terms of the business side of things, but all businesses have to do that, whether it's e-commerce or not. I guess the hardest part of Ecom for me is when I'm making content and promoting my stuff. It's just because there's so much bullshit around like e-commerce as a whole, because you've got so many different people, you know, and a lot of people aren't truthful. A lot of people are just trying to sell you on stuff they don't really know about. The hardest part, I guess, is sifting through it all and trying to get through to people with actual real information and showing yourself as real. Now, I think I've done an okay job at it so far with the following that I've got, and a lot of people can tell. They can get, like, they can sense it, because people aren't dumb. They can sense whether you're bullshitting or not. And all you can do is just be truthful and speak about what you know about. I usually only try and talk about stuff that I know about, and if I don't really know about anything, you know, about a certain topic, I will say so. I'll say, look, I don't know too much about it. I'll try and give advice on basically what I know. And then I guess that's the hardest part, is trying to sort of sift through all this bullshit that people are putting out. Like, you've got people that are now into trading, you know, this Forex trading, which I know nothing about. And even on like the dropshipping and Amazon space, there's a lot of people out there that give you misleading information, and a lot of the time it's because they're trying to reap their own benefit out of it, get their reward out of it, and try and sell you on something. I'm just out here saying, look, this is what I know, this is what I offer, and you know, if you want it, sweet. If not, that's all good. I'm just here to try and help you guys. That's all I can do. I guess the hardest part is just sifting through it all and really the misinformation around it. But in saying that, it's not all that bad. I guess you could say that's the hardest part about it. The rest of it's just real general business stuff that any business needs to deal with. But overall, I would much prefer e-com. I'd much prefer e-commerce businesses than your normal brick and mortar businesses by far. These are on my YouTube now. So these are the YouTube questions. We've got one from Sandy. It says, hi Jack, I used to dropship on Amazon Oz and eBay Oz, but because of longer delivery time, customers were pretty upset and I had to give refunds, and most of the time they were annoyed about delivery timing. What is a solution for that? Also, I used to dropship branded products such as Apple/TXU products, and then my eBay account got blocked. Is there a way to get around it and just rebrand them? So quick answer for that, for the second part of that, is I would stay away from dropshipping big brand products, stay away from it altogether, because there's a lot of problems that can be involved with that. Stay away from it. I would dropship products that you can brand easily, dropship products that don't have patents on it, that aren't copyrighted. Stay away from those big brand products, unless you are flipping them, like say you buy an old pair of Nike shoes or old pair of headphones, or you know, just old collectible items, and then you flip them, you sell them for a higher price to collectors or to other people, whoever wants to buy them. That's fine. I wouldn't go for like someone who is dropshipping, or like a supplier that's dropshipping like a lookalike set of AirPods and try and sell them off as like a refurbished or like a rebranded set of AirPods. Just stay away from that altogether. I hate that shit, because it's like, even if they're okay quality, it's just there's too much crap that's involved with it. Just steer away from it. Get your own product. You know, there's heaps of products out there. You don't have to sell like an Apple style product, or like an Adidas kind of shoe, or like a Sony style headphone. Just stay away from it. There's so many different products out there you can sell. Stay away from that stuff. Now, in terms of the long shipping times, try and find different suppliers. If you're using AliExpress, try and steer away from that if they've got long shipping times. Try eProlo, try HyperSkew as well. They're good as well. Again, if you're dropshipping in Oz, there's also places like Dropship Zone, which is dropshipzone.com.au. Some of those might have a bit of a higher price tag on the items, but they ship from Australia. I think they have their warehouse in Victoria. So have a look at Aussie suppliers as well. Don't just rely on AliExpress, because a lot of the time their customer service is crap, their shipping times are crap. I usually only use AliExpress for the start of my dropshipping. If I find a product, I'll test it out, then I'll move on to another supplier, find that same product from a different supplier. Even use Alibaba, because there are suppliers who can dropship for you and then even brand your item for you. So that's what I would do around that with the shipping time. Just look for different suppliers as well. Our next question we got from Cozy Souza Yo Jack, just starting my FBA business in Australia. Have a question. My product has competitors with many reviews, but it's high demand. If doing much work into such as Instagram and Facebook, promoting via those, as there's a possibility I can still make a good return using Amazon and still climb the ranks while the reviews are coming. And also, would running a Shopify website for the same product I'm using for Amazon be beneficial? So, quick one about the website for the Amazon product. You can do that later on. I would focus on the Amazon traffic first, but it is a good thing. Some of my students who have their success coming from Amazon here in Australia, they also made a website for their products as well. So it's not just traffic from Amazon, they've got their own Shopify store as well. One of my most successful students, Albas, he did that with his. He's got multiple products now. So that's what he did with his, but he did that later on, not at the start. So in terms of, so he said here, advertising into such as Instagram and Facebook, and whether you should go for a product that has high demand but has a lot of competition. So I would much prefer, first of all, it is a good idea to, again, have extra traffic after you sort out your Amazon stuff. So focus on the Amazon traffic first, then you can look at Instagram influencers, Facebook advertising, and that kind of thing as well. So in terms of your product, because I'm just reading the question here, in terms of your product with demand, I would always suggest going for a product that has high demand, even if it has high competition. Now, in the US, in Amazon US, it's on the US market, it's a bit different because you could have 10, 20 super competitive sellers on that same product. Here in Australia, we don't have that problem just yet. Most of the time, there's a few good sellers, but you still got room to compete with them. So I would much prefer, especially in Australia, go for that product that has a super high demand, even if there's a couple of sellers on there, unless you're not competing with super big brands, like I said, like Nike. If you're selling coffee stuff, stay away from like Nespresso, Breville. Stay away from the big brands, don't compete with them. But if there's just third-party sellers that have a lot of reviews, even if they have a lot of reviews, at least it's like, think of it this way, you've got like a product that's got a lot of demand. Here's the pie. This is how big the pie is, like big circle here of the pie. And then you've got a product with small demand, very small circle here. So we've got the big one here, small one here. Let's just say in this circle here, trying to do like a representation here for you. In the big circle here, on this one, let's just say there's 3 or 4 really big sellers. Okay, let's just say they've only taken like half the pie. You still have half to get your take in. You've still got half the pie that you can get your sales in, get your revenue in, grow your own product in here. So even though there's a lot of sellers here, you've still got a big pie to use in here. Very small circle. The reason it's small is because there's not that much demand. So you might only have 1, maybe 2 sellers doing really well, but it's like, okay, they've taken like more than 3/4 of it. They've taken like 9/10 out of it, whatever you want to call it. They've taken like 90% out of it. You've got that little small thing here to compete with. But not only that, there's not enough demand there, you might not get sales. Or even if there's no sellers there, it's like, okay, you've got all this free range here. You've got 100% of the pie, but it's like, there's not many people buying. You could be making here like maybe $500 revenue, a month, and you've got this whole pie. Here, you've got half the pie, but it's like, okay, you might be making 5,000 revenue here because there's so much demand here. So I always go for a product that has high demand, even if it's a bit more competitive. Go for that as opposed to low demand products. Next question we've got from Eva. Hi Jack, I've been watching lots of videos about how you can sell on Amazon Australia. It seems like it's not easy, and everyone's trying to get into this business. Not sure what is the right products to sell. I'm always lacking motivation. Appreciate the support and good job as usual. Thank you for the kind words, Eva. So to answer your question, you've been watching a lot of videos on how to sell on Amazon Australia, but it seems like it's not easy and everyone's trying to get into it. First off, I can guarantee that there will always be more buyers than sellers. Now, put it this way. There's 300 million people in the US, around 300 million people in the US, and there is a lot more warehouses in the US for Amazon. So there's a lot more buyers. Now, there was something like half the population of the US had Amazon Prime accounts. So there's a lot more buyers. Let's just say 150 million people have Amazon Prime accounts, and that means they're most likely buying stuff on Amazon. Now, in saying that, there's sellers on there that are popping up every day still on the US, and it is a lot more competitive. Like, we're never going to be as competitive in Amazon AU here as we are in the US. never to that extent. We just don't have enough people. There's what, 26, 27 million, I think now in Australia. Correct me, I could be wrong. But there's 300 million in the US. Now, if they haven't reached their max capacity and Amazon over there has been running for like over a decade longer than it has here, no way ever there's going to be a problem with too many sellers in Australia here. And we've only just started here in the US, here in AU, sorry. It only launched in 2017 and people only started selling then. So even so, there's always going to be more buyers than sellers when it comes to Amazon. So you don't have a problem with that. Now, the second part of your question, you lack motivation, it might not be easy to get into the business. The best thing to do with that, what I did, is find a reason why you want to do it and write down the steps you need to take and just learn as much as you can. I think the reason why you lack motivation in this is because you think it's going to be too hard. Now, think of it this way. If you are looking to start a business that is going to either give you some like a bit of a side hustle, give you a bit of extra cash, or even take over what you are earning right now, that's going to take work. That's going to take a lot of work. And of course it's going to be hard. If it's something that's worth doing, I found a lot of the time it's going to be hard. Stuff that's not worth doing, really easy. It's really, when I was like struggling to make money, I thought, hey, cool, I can take these, like I would take online surveys because apparently they paid you, and then it ended up being like, you did like 10 surveys and you got like 25 cents. And I was like, this is terrible. It was easy, but it was like 25 cents and you couldn't take out the money until you earned like $2 or something. It was terrible. But it was really super easy. Now, starting my own online businesses and now having Ecom excellence, it's not easy. It's stuff that I need to constantly work at every day, but it's worth it because, you know, the amount of effort that I put in relates to what I get out of it. So I think you're low on motivation because you are just not sure what direction to go in, and you're not sure like if it's going to be worth it. I've had a lot of people also come up to me and ask what's better, dropshipping or Amazon, and I tell them usually Amazon is better for beginners, but then they go, okay, yes, but you know, this and that, I'm not sure what to do. I don't know if dropshipping would be better. I don't know if blah, blah, blah. The main thing is they're just trying to make excuses for themselves not to start, and they're trying to make excuses as to why it's too hard. I would suggest for you, just go with it. Write down what you need to do, learn as much as you can, whether that's going through a course, whether that's just watching YouTube videos. Start writing down notes, get as much info as you can, and then just start. Get a small order, even if it's like 10 to 20 units in. Get a small order, send it to Amazon, work your way around Amazon, try and sell those units, and then learn your way. And then you'll get more confident. You say, okay, it's actually not as hard as what I thought. And you go from there. So I think most of the time people sort of lack motivation because they just don't know what direction to go in, and they think that it's not worth it. So just do your best with it, and then at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, there's always different things you can try. There's eBay flipping, there's drop shipping, there's so it doesn't even have to be Ecom. It's just so many different things you can do in online business, and first thing to do is just the hardest step, which is just getting started. All right, next question we got from Umair. Hi Jack, I'm planning to start FBA private label in Australia. What is the best time to launch as per time of the year, as per your experience? So really, it's not the time of year that's the problem. It's like, okay, obviously you want to try and launch, if you're getting into Christmas sales, try and get your stock and everything sorted a couple of months before at least. But in terms of like year round, just try and find a product that sells year round. The only thing I can note is if you're working from suppliers, like if you're working with suppliers from China, around the February, March, kind of April, that's when they have their Chinese New Year, and a lot of them take work off. A lot of, you know, the work slows down. You might not get your orders out as fast. The manufacturing might slow down. A lot of them just take time off and their offices are closed sometimes, like that. Depends on who you're working with. But apart from those 2, maybe 3 months around the start of the year, around the new year, there's no right time. Sell a product that has demand year round, then you won't have a problem. It's not like the right time to launch. It's just getting in as soon as you can, and finding products that have high demand, making your spin on it, making it better than the competition or even slightly improved the competition, have a competitive price, make sure it's high quality, make sure you've got strong branding, away you go. All right, last question. So we've got from Zeal. Hey, Zeal. Hi Jack, I'm going to source a product for Australian marketplace. What do you suggest about brand registering or printing logos on my first order or leave it for a later stage to see the sales volume. But launching a product without brand registry will be open to hijackers. We'll really appreciate your supply, Alia. So it's Alia. Okay, so Alia, I will always suggest, even if it's a very small order, even if it's a test order, get your logo put on the product. At least have your branding on there. You don't need to have brand registry just yet. That's something you can leave for a bit later on. But I would always suggest trying to create a brand out of it. At least launching a brand, getting a logo put on your product, and trying to sell that stock there. Because there's a couple of reasons for that. One is because when it launches, it's going to be a lot easier to grow the momentum of your brand, and two, it's going to be a little bit harder for people to hijack your listings as well, because you have the logo on there, because you have your brand starting to be established already. Hijackers are going to try and want to stay away from it. If you've got, let's just say, if you've got this really cool, like state-of-the-art, like electric toothbrush, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, you got this really cool state-of-the-art electric toothbrush, but it's got no brand name on it. Hijackers can just look at that product and go, okay, I'm going to look at Alibaba for that, or I'm going to look at something else for that, or whatever, and they're just going to hijack your listing and sell it at a cheaper price than you, and you'll be competing on price then. If you have a strong brand, if you go, okay, this is my electric toothbrush, this is this brand's electric toothbrush, my brand, you've got a logo on there, you've got solid branding, hijackers are going to look at that and go, okay. Even if they do hijack it, when it gets to the point where your brand is registered, you're going to be super protected, because then it's going to be like, people try and hijack it, you get in contact with seller support, or you contact the seller themselves, your brand is registered, that means it's pretty much like safe from hijackers. And even though if it's like your very, very first order, I would still suggest it. In the long run, it's going to help you out so much more. So yes, I never suggest doing white labeled or like no brand products, unless it's like you're just gonna try one, or you wanna look at a sample or something, or you wanna test the product out. I always suggest putting a logo on your product, getting some branding done. Alright, that's pretty much it for the questions today, guys. So I really appreciate all of you guys who commented your questions. If you have any more for me, leave them in the comments down below. I always try and get to my comments every couple of days. If you notice, majority of my comments on all of my videos are pretty much answered. There's pretty much not going to be many that aren't answered. So I always try and comment back, and I know as we get more subs, it's going to be harder to do. But as you know, I'm going to answer them as long as I can. For as long as I can, I'll answer back you guys and just help you guys out as much as I can. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay safe. We'll do another Q&A video like this again, but we'll have some more videos in the near future, hopefully in the next day or two. I've got another video planned for you guys which you'll like, but stay safe. I hope you're doing well. See you guys in the next one.